Let's get some more analysis on what's driving the market today. Live now to Julia Lee, joining us from Bell Direct in Sydney. Julia, your thoughts on the session underway? As I mentioned just an hour before the close now, it's been a pretty good day.
Dan, a great day for the Australian share market. In fact, all markets around the region doing very well, and really on the back of the European Central Bank, which hinted that rates will be low around the world for longer and that it's willing to throw more money at the European economy. So we are seeing risk assets doing very well on the back of that. Of course, here domestically, we've seen all of the big four banks now looking to raise interest rates on their standard variable loans to home owners as well as investment home loans. And that's had a positive impact on the banking space. But it's really other areas of the market which are firing along. In fact, we're seeing more than 2% gains for the consumer staples, the consumer discretionary, the property utilities, as well as the material sectors today. In fact, if I try and bring up a market map of the market, this is what the market looks like. You can see it's green all across the screen. So really strong gains across the market. And what that means for the week is that we are up 1.7% for the week. That means 3 weeks out of the last 4, we have seen gains in the month of October. And in fact, in the last month, what we've seen in terms of volatility is a fall of 36%. So the fact that we have seen volatility falling right back has been great news for longer term investors.
Julia, can we also ask you about that big deal in the energy space today? Drill Search up 22.1% now. Beach Energy also up 1.8%. What do you think about the synergies that are set to be created as part of this tie-up? Analysts seem to like this deal.
Look, I really like this deal. Both of these companies are involved in the Cooper Basin, so it does make sense that a merger does take place. Of course, it's probably better news for Drill Search shareholders. They'll be getting 1.25 of Beach Petroleum shares under this deal. Kerry Stokes also looking to own 20% of the merged company. So altogether, if we have a look at this deal, it really follows hot on the heels of other corporate activity within this sector. Yesterday, we heard from Santos and Scepter, and we've also in the last few weeks heard from Woodside Petroleum trying to make a bid for Oil Search as well. And this really points to a crucial point in energy stocks where we probably have seen the bottoming out of energy stocks, even though there will be more volatility in terms of oil prices. So this is great news for this whole sector, and it should lift the whole sector.
And Julia, do you see opportunities out there as well for the combined entity when I guess this deal does go ahead after receiving shareholder support? It was interesting to hear the chairman speaking today about the fact that there is a lot of distressed assets in the energy space, particularly in Australia, and this combined entity could be taking a tilt for any one of them at this point.
I think it's a great position for any cashed up companies in the energy space at the moment to be taking over cheaper assets. We've seen oil prices basically falling around about 50% in the past year. So if there are any energy companies, and Woodside Petroleum is in a great spot at the moment that has a strong balance sheet, cashed up, looking for acquisitions, well, now would be the time to be looking at picking up acquisitions. So altogether in the energy space, it is looking very interesting, and I guess that's what makes investing in this space hard at the moment as well, because you do see companies with distressed assets, distressed balance sheets, with share prices going down, but at some point they become attractive takeover targets, and we are seeing that at the moment. So I'm expecting to see more corporate activity out of this space, even if we do continue to see weakness in terms of oil prices.
And Julia, Oz Minerals shares also powering ahead today, up by about 5.1%.
This is a great story. I mean, the stock's up 20% in the year to date, and when you consider that copper prices are down 17% in that time, it's a very good performance coming through from Oz Minerals. One thing that's really moving in its favour is the currency. We've seen the Australian dollar losing 11% against the US currency this year, and we know that Oz Minerals has had a strong emphasis on cost cutting. Not only that, it looks like production is ahead of what the market is expecting. Previously, they were forecasting 110 to 120,000 tonnes of copper. They've increased that to 126 to 131,000 tonnes of copper. So a huge positive. But not only that, they've done that at the same time as keeping costs down. And they've kept costs down and costs under $6 a tonne for copper. So altogether, a very positive result. The third quarter production numbers, we've seen an increase of 28% in terms of copper production. Not only that, we've seen a little bit of corporate activity here as well. In the past month, we've seen KKR taking a 10% stake and the stock up by 5.3%. So nice to see this stock outperforming and coming in ahead of expectations.
Okay, Julia Lee from Bell Direct. Julia, always appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Dan.